Mason Rhodus. Everybody can go down Main Street and see Mason sitting outside of a store. Mason's on Main. Ty comes from Mason on Main. And just enjoy seeing him and his husband, Jeffrey. So, did you need a chair too?
Nope.
Okay. So, we are going to let Mason tell his story. Thank you, Mason.
Good evening. Thank you, Brett, for that heartfelt introduction. Thank you so much. So I, too, am doing this on the stage for the first time. Normally, I do this on Facebook in the shop with my ring cam, and I can see what's going on, and I'm okay to do it that way. But tonight, I'm here to tell you guys my story of hope. And I'm going to do it a little different. I've brought some props, but in this case, there are going to be 5 items that I'm going to kind of explain to you and tell you why those things have brought me hope through my life. Okay? Sorry. So, I'm going to start the story here with the lice outbreak of 1975 in my elementary school in Richmond, Kentucky. I was 6 years old, and I can tell you, I was terrified. I was so afraid. There were little boys coming back to school the next day that would have no hair. There were really pretty little girls with long hair that would come back, and it would be short. I was really nervous. But I'm going to pull the first item out of the case here because he gives me hope and still does. Introduce you guys to Mason's sock monkey. And this sock monkey was the sole survivor of that lice outbreak in 1975. Because even though I was, nervous and worried at school, I came home from school that day, went to my bedroom to change into my play clothes, and yes, I'm that old. Step into my bedroom door, and my childhood innocence was gone in a flash. Because my mother, being a young mother, had heard that head lice can live on stuffed animals. And like most of us, I had a great collection. But I stepped into my bedroom and they were all gone. All of them. Except for Sock Monkey. Thank goodness she saw no fur. So she thought, okay, he's okay. But it was devastating to me. But he gives me hope that he survived all of that. So it allowed me to know that I too can survive. And I'll never forget that first night going to bed, and it was rough. We had to say goodbye to our friends. But thank you for Sock Monkey. So the next item that I'm going to pull out of the case here, it was senior year, 1988. And I was asked to escort a friend of mine down the ball field for homecoming. She was running for homecoming queen. In Richmond, Kentucky, we did homecomings late October. It was going to be really, really cold that night. I remember going to Kmart, getting a new black suit. I remember going to Penny's and getting some shoes. But I knew it was going to be cold, and we were sharecrop farmers, and I knew that my parents couldn't afford something. They couldn't afford an overcoat. The only kind of winter overcoat I had was a Carhartt. I didn't think that would be great on the ball field. So of course, my first reaction is to go to my nanny. So I walked down the street to my nanny's house, and I explained to her my situation. And I'm going to go ahead and take this out here. But she said, "Follow me." And we went down to the back bedroom closet, and she went deep into that closet, and she pulled out this most amazing peacoat. And I can remember slipping that peacoat on, and it was a perfect fit. It was a perfect fit. I felt good when I put it on. And she said, "That's yours." She said, "That's your coat to wear to walk down the ball field." And this coat I still wear every winter. It's been through many different decades. I've done collar up, I've done collar down. It's been through a lot, but this coat at that time, as a young man, gave me hope to know that some things were only meant for me. They weren't meant for anyone else to have them. This is from the 20s. Who knows how long my grandmother had that in her closet. But some things were meant just for me. Okay, so fast forward. I'm in my 30s. And like most of us, we dream of getting away, moving away from home, and living on our own, supporting ourselves. And I did that right out of high school. I left Richmond, and I'm not going to say abroad for 10 years, but I was away from Kentucky for 10 years. So it was devastating to me when I had to return home and move back in with my parents into my old bedroom. It was heartbreaking. I felt like I had been defeated. I felt like I was broken. But hope had other plans for me. So in that time, I knew I had to have a job, and I knew I was in Richmond, Kentucky. So I got a job at the Walmart Supercenter, working in women's lingerie. And I was really good at it. Could you tell me what size that says? Why, sure, ma'am, I will. But, of course, working at that Walmart, I knew that I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be able to get another place of my own. So, of course, I was going to try to move up. And I did that. I was offered the job as manager of the grill, which was located in the back of the store. And I was excited. I said, "Sure, I've worked in food before. I can do that." At 30. And the next day, I show up to take on that new role and find out that everyone who had worked in the grill had quit 3 days ago. So there I was by myself. And sorry, my lips are going to get dry talking. There I was by myself in the grill, but I was determined that I was going to do it. I was cooking, fixing burgers. I was ringing them up, cashing them out. I made it through lunch, and that was it. I walked out. I quit that job. Didn't even make it home, and the store manager had called my father, and he said, "Make sure that Mason comes back. We want to talk with him." So I went back and talked with the store manager, and they gave me a new position in lawn and garden. So the next item, I got to wear shorts. I got to wear shorts in lawn and garden, t-shirts, that sort of thing. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed working with the plants and those things. But during that time, I was awarded Friendliest Associate of the Month, working in lawn and garden. But what makes this the most special for me is in that time of working there was this man that would come in great pair of jeans, a different pair of cowboy boots every Saturday that I got to see this person. But we were in Richmond, so we weren't speaking we weren't talking. So the date on this plaque is July of 2000. And that's what's important to me, because that was the month that we finally talked and we set out on that first date. And now, 23 years later, my husband, Jeffery Hale, who was that fine man in those boots, we've been together 23 years since that day, since this day. And it gave me hope that I was going to make it. I was going to be okay. I was going to be all right. Jeffrey, I love you. I'm sorry, I'm still nervous. Okay, so we're going to fast forward 2015. Jeffrey and I decided, we'd been together for 15 years, we were going to embark on our dream of opening a business. We knew we wanted it to be an antique shop. We knew we wanted it to be on Main Street. We just didn't know where. But in 2015, we embarked on that dream. And I can tell you that was the hardest thing I had done in my life to that point, because people didn't know we were there. So it was really a struggle that first year, but we kept going. We kept progressing. So in 2017, this is the next item, I got to be on the cover of the Winchester Living magazine by default. I wasn't the first choice. But something happened to the first choice, and he's kind of in the back here somewhere. But I was super excited because I knew that face was going to be in every mailbox in Clark County. It was going to be at the pharmacy. It was going to be at the doctor's offices. Everyone in Clark County was going to know who Mason on Main was. They were going to know that we've done some of the most wonderful weddings here in town. They were going to know that I did custom bow ties. Thank you, Whitney Leggett. She was the photographer of this iconic image, in my opinion. But this gave me hope that we hadn't done the wrong thing, that we were going to make it as a business on Main Street. I wish I had some more.
Oh, you want? Well, by the time I get it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go. I'm just going to keep going. Okay. So the final item that I'm going to pull from the case. Running that business on Main Street has been the most wonderful thing in my life. I've met some wonderful people. I get to interact and do a lot of things. I get to do a lot of community things, which I didn't do that when I was younger. But opening that shop has been amazing. We were in that business for 6 years and had survived a pandemic. And we decided that, because you all know that I decorate my awning and everything for every season, holidays, special events, what have you. But we decided, we survived this, let's celebrate just one more occasion. Just one more, and let's just see how it goes. So we decided to hang 4 of these bad boys on that awning. And I can tell you that it's been a journey. It's been a journey. There's been a lot, thank you. It's been a journey. But through the hard and the tough and the ugly, this flag gives me hope that because of our bravery to put those on that Main Street prompted more of this in our community. It gives me hope that I may have changed someone's life, that I may have made someone feel accepted where we are all welcome. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. And we're having our first Pride and Inclusion Festival here in Winchester. So That's what gives me hope, that I was brave enough to do that in my life. Thank you all. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, WinCity Voices, and thank you, Leeds Theater, for this wonderful stage.